Now, it's not going to take a genius to work out that this is the same day as my last video. I've literally just finished filming the last video, but I probably won't finish filming this video for a while now. So the secret that I promised to reveal is too heavy. The trailer itself is quickly becoming too heavy, but more importantly, as you know, I took the trailer back to the guy that built it, and he measured the tongue weight, and he said there's far too much weight over the tongue. Now I know instantly I could take the 30 kilo battery out and put that out the back and I'll probably be okay. But my wiring is all in, all hidden, all lovely, all discreet. Now this isn't a massive shock to me because I've been weighing it at my local weighbridge sporadically as I'm putting weight on. Now I actually had this weighed this morning with the roof rack, which is made of steel. There's not much to it, so that doesn't concern me too much. I am at 640 kilos. It's not a precise measurement. Them weigh bridges go up in 20 kilo increments, but 640 kilos, which leaves me 110 kilos before I have to go for a braked axle, a braked coupling, and actually do a trailer test. In the UK, because I'm only 32 years old, that would actually mean sitting an exam and a driving test, which is fine, but it is time and money. So the weight needs to be put further back to the axle. I'm not a stranger to tongue weight. I did look into it, but I think because my axle was set back a tiny bit further, and that battery is just killing it, because it's an aluminium frame. He is concerned about the tongue weight, so that battery needs to head towards the back. This box that I'm actually pretty in love with, I think it looks great and serves a massive purpose. It's going to stay. I can't part with it, but it's going to be filled with light things, hose pipes. In the bottom, the fuse box is still going to stay in there, but the battery is going to go to the back, and the storage can be blankets, towels, tent poles if I have them, anything that isn't too weighty, not like a 30-35 kilo battery anyway. So that is one thing. So I've got a cushion of about 100 kilos to fit a kitchen, and some cushions and anything that I'm going to load it up with. Now it seems like a lot and it doesn't seem like a lot. I'm massively concerned that I'm going to get all that weight and I'm not even going to be able to carry a bottle of water because it'd be too heavy. So I'm going to strip it out. I'm going to strip it out and start again. And this is the mistake that I don't want you guys to make. I've used timber for a lot of things. I'm a plumber by trade, and I'm no stranger to the building site and carpentry, so timber comes naturally to me as opposed to welding and fabricating. So this wall at the back, for example, is a 2x2 frame. It's loosely fitted at the moment, but it's a 2x2 frame, ply each side, filled with Celotex insulation, things like that it's just too heavy. I have a timber support here to take the bounce out, because just behind there is the foam board, because the insulation runs right up to here. So that's a lot of timber, and I think the thickness of the ply, the grade of the ply, I've kind of gone overkill. So hopefully you can see this, but these two walls, this wall and that wall, are both 12mm ply, because I wanted them to be really robust and I wanted to be able to screw stuff into them, and for them not to feel like paper. But I don't think I'm going to get away with it. So the hard work's done. I mean, everything in here, the ply, all the ply that's already in here, it just is a massive template. So that's the hardest bit. I only have to whip it out and cut them again. But this wall here, for example, because I knew This is 3mm, this is the light stuff. And I think if I manage to get enough fixings in them, I think that's the road I need to go down, because it would literally be 2/3 lighter. There's just too much timber, and I kind of took it for granted, and I got a bit naive. There's a timber support across, there's actually a sheet of ply on the back, a timber support here to take the bracket for the TV, and then I was going to have these pieces of ply here. These simply, all of that ply, all that does is trap in this headline in. And again, down here, ply, timber, ply. It's just too much. It's just too much. I've made it too robust, I believe. I've just added timber wherever I wanted to. So I weighed it today with no kitchen. The battery is in it. The battery is still in the front, and it was 640 kilos. Now my aim is to strip it out, which it does break my heart, but to strip it out, change the thickness of the ply, put it all back in. So basically it's going to look exactly the same, apart from maybe the layout. I still need to contemplate the layout, because the battery is moving to the back. So that's not to say that the electrics, because I'm basically starting from a shell again. I'm going to leave the insulation, it's 50mm insulation. I could go down to 40, but for the cost and the time, for the weight difference, I don't believe it's enough to go down that road. Can I help you? Can I help you, mister? Can I help you? Come on then. Come on, you can do it. Oh, lad. You're going to have to get used to getting up there, pal. You're going to have to get used to jumping up there. I can't do that every time. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so the thickness of the ply is where the weight is. And again, it sounds ridiculous, but all of these little bits add up, and that adds up to tongue weight. So I'm hoping to get the battery to the back, strip this timber out, and then I'm going to reweigh it and see exactly where I am. I'm going to reweigh it at the stage I am now. So that wall is going to go back in, the battery is going to be at the back, and I'm going to get it weighed before the kitchen goes in and see what kind of difference I've made. Right guys, so here we are, a new day. Only took about an hour, I think maybe an hour and a half to strip out back to what I would call pretty much bare bones. I'm back to just the insulated, back to the Reflectix, ready to take the boards. As I was the one that built it originally, I knew how everything went and what order of events to reverse it in. So yeah, surprising how quick it is to take out. I am keeping the 9mm ply on the floor because there's no extra floor finish going over that, so I want it to be quite robust. The dog will be in there, I'll be in there, muddy boots, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't go down to 6mm to save the bit of weight, but I've got something to show you. This is the collection of what has come out. Now it all can't come out and stay out. A lot of it can. I've really been trying to think how to do it. Like for example, these steel tubes, they're something that I could go pick up off the shelf. I got the trailer guy to give me some aluminium alternatives. They were the ceiling struts, so that I could use the pop rivet style. But all this timber, just all individually, you wouldn't want to pick it up, put it that way. It's all heavy. This piece of 2x2, for example, it goes in there. It went in there nice and tight, allowed stability. It capped off the foam. and it was going to have a little bit of aluminium trim over it, a bit like the other stuff I started to. You know, I reckon there's a couple of kilos there, but if I change that for aluminium, all these very small 500 grams here, a kilo there, will make a difference. So this, for example, this is all that's come out. It was just I wouldn't say over engineered, because there's nothing clever about it, but it's just too thick. This is 9mm. That was the stud wall that partitioned the kitchen to the living area. I mean, this is what I was using on the walls. That's 12mm. That's just far too heavy. That's 12mm with the window surround. And again, that is a lump to lift when I think about it. And now that I'm going for these 3mm sheets, I think I could snap that off at a corner, but in the middle, you know, there won't be any exposed edges. Considering there's no hollow points, there's no part that I could actually push through. I mean, I can't even push through that. So that's the plan. We're gonna go with the 3mm and see how we get on. Very quick update. So things have started to go back in. Simple changes mean a lot when it comes to weight reduction. I've swapped these. These were originally steel, something that I just picked up from a local B&Q. I could probably, one probably weighs the equivalent to all of what I've now installed. The reason I've done this suspended ceiling style is so that the headlining can be fitted using pop rivets, the plastic trim style ones, and also what it does is allows me a route for all of the electrics. Now also the layout has totally changed. The fuse board and the solar charge controller was at the front originally. That's all moving towards the back, closer to the battery, because the battery is now going to be housed in the kitchen, around about here, gas next to it. So the bottom half of the kitchen is going to be taken up with the services and the cooler. So I've got to work out how best to create some good storage. But this is 3mm ply on the walls now, and with the solid foam behind it, it's actually a lot stronger than I ever anticipated. Obviously, if I grab the corner, I could probably snap that off, but it's better than I ever thought it would be. And what I've done is I've used aluminium angle pushed in tight so there's no visible fixings apart from the angles in the corners. Yeah, next job, headlining. What I've also done, and the only telltale sign at the moment, is this fixing hole that is now exposed, is I've moved the axle 6 inches forward. Now that sounds dramatic, but in fact it took a couple of hours. These are the fixing bolts, and there's the old one. I literally made use of the furthest forward one and shifted it a whole 6 inches forward. By using the same holes to begin with, it means alignment isn't an issue or anything like that, because I know the holes that I've used are correct. And what that does is it just helps with that tongue weight, just that it actually is noticeable. All these little changes, the more and more, just makes this, probably not very good footage, but so much easier to just lift up now. So yeah, the naked eye pretty much can't see that 6 inches has come forward, but it makes all the difference. Now back at the stage, the exact stage I was before, when I weighed it and realised that it weighed a ton. Moved the axle 6 inches forward, like I said, so I can feel that it's physically easier to lift it up. Here we are. So the wall is back in, but this time it's created with aluminium boxing. The battery is in the back. This is a battery holder, but it is temporary at the moment. I'm going to a show this weekend, and with the time wasted as such on stripping it back out, I'm not going to have the kitchen finished. So this is very temporary, and just for this weekend, I'll put a bit of angle there, and I'm going to put a piece of ply across there, just like there's a bit of a worktop. Very crude at the moment, but this is the setup. Very tight, very snug, but it does all fit in. I'll take that battery out in the next video and show you the exact setup, but I am back to where I was before. All the lights are in. There is no panel at the front this time like there was before, or no cover panel over the panel. This is all 3mm ply. It's all been trimmed with aluminium to help hold it in position. Hope you can see that. The sockets are at the back this time. There's the MPPT controller, the MT50. So a socket at each end. So I'm exactly where I was before. Apart from the TV, that's the only thing that probably isn't in there. And I went and had it weighed yesterday, and it was 560 kilos. So I've managed to shed 80 kilos, leaving me with a cushion now of 200 kilos-ish to put a kitchen in and load it up. So I'm very, very grateful that, or very happy that I've taken it out and started again. So it was all worth it in the end.